الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فاذكروني أذكركم واشكروا لي ولا تكفرون سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. Begin this majlis with the beautiful name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we beseech Him that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to remember Him in a way that is transformative for us, that is acceptable to Him. So inshallah ta'ala try to be present in the dhikr, try to let go of all the thoughts of the dunya, and inshallah ta'ala do the dhikr with love and muhabbat. We'll start with Khutmat Fajiran. I will recite these surahs, these ayahs, these du'as once inshallah ta'ala, and you can repeat slowly after me. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Astaghfirullah Rabbi min kulli dhanbin wa atubu ilayh. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah Rabbi min kulli. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. الحمد لله. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل. اللهم صل. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. ألم نشرح لك صدرك. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد. قل هو الله أحد. قل هو الله أحد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا اللهم صل بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اللهم يا قاضي الحاجات يا قاضي الحاجات يا قاضي الحاجات اللهم يا كافي المهمات يا كافي المهمات يا كافي المهمات يا كافي اللهم يا دافع البليات يا دافع البليات يا دافع يا دافع اللهم يا شافي الأمراض يا شافي الأمراض يا شافي يا شافي اللهم يا رافع الدرجات يا رافع الدرجات يا رافع الدرجات اللهم يا مجيب الدعوات يا مجيب الدعوات يا مجيب يا مجيب. اللهم يا مسبب الأسباب يا مسبب الأسباب يا مسبب الأسباب يا مسبب الأسباب يا مسبب اللهم يا أرحم الراحمين يا أرحم الراحمين يا أرحم الراحمين يا أرحم يا أرحم يا أرحم يا أرحم الراحمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين Ya Allah Kareem, whatever is read, Allah, we ask that you send the rewards of this to all the Anbiya Karam and Mursaleen alayhi salatu wassalam, especially our beloved Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah Ta'ala, please send the reward of this to all the Sahaba Karam Ridwanullahi Ajma'een, especially the Ahl Bayt, especially Ummahat al-Mu'mineen, especially Ya Allah Kareem, the Ashra Mubashra, the Khulfai Rashideen, Ya Allah Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq Radiallahu Ta'ala Anhu. Allah send the reward of this to all the Siddiqeen, Shuhada, Salihin, Ulama wa Mashayikh Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Allah send the reward of this to all the Mu'mineen, Mu'minat, Muslimin, Muslimat. Ameen Ya Rabbul Alameen. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. حسبنا الله. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا خفي اللطف أدركني بلطفك الخفي. يا خفي اللطف أدركني بلطفك الخفي. يا خفي اللطف. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا باقي أنت الباقي. يا باقي أنت. يا باقي. يا باقي. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. لا حول ولا قوة. لا حول. لا حول ولا. لا حول. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى. اللهم صل على. اللهم صل. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك. سبحانك. سبحانك لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك أستغيث. يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك أستغيث. يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك أستغيث. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. اللهم صل على. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والله ذو فضل على المؤمنين. والله ذو فضل على المؤمنين. والله ذو فضل على المؤمنين. والله ذو فضل. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. اللهم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. إنا لله وإنا. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله ولي الذين آمنوا. الله ولي الذين آمنوا. الله ولي الذين. الله ولي الذين آمنوا. الله. الله ولي الذين. الله ولي الذين. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والله ولي المؤمنين والله ولي والله والله ولي اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا لا إله إلا لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala requires that his servants and his slaves they acquire purity of their physical self, meaning they should have tahara, as well as purity of their inner self, that they should get rid of the ailments of the soul, ailments of the heart, ailments of the nafs, so the heart can become something worthy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the nafs can become something that is mutma'inna, that is content with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so, in order to do that, it is necessary that we understand what some of these ailments are. There's a long list of ailments, there is a long list of mujahidat that a person has to do. So, very briefly, just to touch base a little bit upon them so we get some understanding of what is the work that has been cut out for us. We discussed and we started with the primary ailment of shahwa, and we discussed how it penetrates our thinking, it gets into our heart, It affects our emotions, and then the acts that come out of that shahwa that are lacking in haya, the thoughts that come out of that shahwa that are lacking in modesty, is something that takes a person away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we also discussed this concept of ghaid and ghazab and ghussa, which is a primal response, very animalistic response to things, very reactionary response to things that goes against our tabiyyat, our mizaj. And we discussed some of the ways that a person can overcome these. Then there were some other emotions that we spoke about, the concept of tama, which is also some sort of like an animalistic concept of just running after things more than we need them. Actually, it is worse than an animal because even a lion will only eat as much as it needs and it would not hunt beyond that. But a person who has tama in their heart, they desire things that they don't deserve, they desire things that they don't need, and they think about them and they run after them day in and day out. And because of that tama, a person starts to feel hasad, jealousy, which we also discussed a little bit. When a person does not have something themselves, and when they see that the other person has it, then they feel this jealousy, this rage towards them. And this is an expression of ingratitude towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I think last time we spoke briefly about this concept of bukhl, greed. Meaning once you have a ni'mat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you do not want to let go of it. And the general state of a mu'min is that he or she is sakhi. They are generous in nature. Now when we talk about generosity, we're not necessarily talking about just giving away money, although that is part of that. Generosity of being basically means that you are generous with your time, meaning you give others time when they need it. You are generous with your energies, you are generous with your positivity, that you are there for others when they need it. So being present, giving a smile to somebody when they need it, all of these things are part of sikhavat of a person, generosity of a person. Now, before we move on to some of the other ailments, because we were kind of going according to the lataif of Silsila Naqshbandiya Mujaddidiyya, today, inshallah ta'ala, I want to briefly touch base upon this concept of kina, or badgumani, or as they say, bad opinion about others, holding grudges in your heart, feeling negative towards others, all of these, having malice towards others. All of these things are either called shahan or kina or badgumani or su'evan. They are very related topics. So, badgumani or kina, obviously, you can think of this as a ghibat of the heart, where when you talk about others, when you think about others, the way that you feel about them is very negative. It causes rage within a person. It causes a feeling that the other person should be harmed. It causes a feeling that the other person should not have any progress, right? So these things, they just find their ways into the heart, and it is very, very difficult to let go of. I would argue that kina is one of the hardest things to let go. That even when you forgive people, when you exercise afu and darguzar and you're able to forgive people, you're not able to forget about it. People say forgive and forget. They will say, yes, I forgive you. But those feelings or those wounds, they still remain in the heart. And it causes a person to change their own behavior in the ways that they're interacting with them. And so it's so ajib. There are two, as they say, milte julte, similar words. One is kina, the other is called both. Do you know the difference between the two? kina and both? What is the difference? Take a swipe at it. So both is that negative feelings towards others that there may not be any reason for it. You just hate the other person. Both is that you just hate the other person. There's hatred in the heart. There's negativity in the heart, and that is usually an outlook. Usually because the person themselves is so negative that when they think about anyone, they will pick out the worst qualities. So they will always look for the worst qualities in a person, and they will identify it. So both is just negativity towards another person without any reason. Meaning there is no shikayat, there is no complaint behind it. It's just feeling ghussa towards others. And kina is an extreme form of that, both that now you really want to hurt the other person. Now that hatred and that hurt can come in terms of words. People will say words that hurt other people. It could be physical violence. People take each other's life. So that is an extreme form of that kina, where usually there is some reason. Both there's generally no reason whatsoever. Kina, there may be something, I was walking and I bumped into you, and now it's like, how dare this person bumped into me? Right? So there's some reason there. But there's also this element that, I want to really cause harm to this person now. And that rage within, it gets satiated once a person is able to say something. किसी को गाली निकाल दी, you curse somebody, या किसी को थप्पड़ लगा दिया, you beat up somebody, and then you feel calmer. You feel better about yourself. So that is usually kina, because kina is very destructive force. So that is the difference between both and kina. Children usually don't have this emotion, because what happens with children is, they fall down, or if you hit them, or if you do something, they will cry for 10-15 minutes, and then they'll forget about it. It is usually only the adults that they develop this kind of negativity over time. That whatever happens, they start to kind of put this in their heart, one after another. They start to form an opinion about another. Sometimes true, but a lot of times it may not be true at all. This is perception. People will say, well, this person is like that. Well, do you have any evidence of that? No, but I think that time I saw this person do this, so he must be like this. So there is a lot of, in the thinking, there's a lot of buhtan that is involved. There's a lot of slandering that is involved just in the thinking aspect. You may not say it, but because you perceive it that way, so you can think of this as slandering of the heart. That now the person has this feeling that falan banda aisa, falan banda aisa, falan banda aisa. So they start to develop these opinions about other people. And we can be sure that as salikin, because alhamdulillah, most of us here are salikin, it is very necessary to get rid of these negative opinions about it. Very necessary. And I've given my own example before that 20 years ago, there was a Pir Bhai. Pir Bhais are usually, students of the same Shaykh. This is what the terminology that is used, like a Pir Bhai. So there was a Pir Bhai of mine who came from a different culture, and his behavior was a little different. And a lot of times, I would say he did not take care of, other people's feelings and the way that he behaved and the way he said things. And so over time, he did some things that caused a lot of, harm to me financially and whatever. And so the problem with this, having this shahan, this kina, this badgumani in the heart, is that it affects you. Meaning you have given power to another person to take control over you. Because you have, I mean, you're self-destructing inside. I mean, this doesn't affect the other person at all. Right? I mean, this person is happy, he's living his life, he's doing whatever he needs to do. और अंदर से बंदा घोल घोल के जो है ना वो हो जाता. So I naturally felt in my heart these feelings, okay, what's wrong with this person and why doesn't he understand and what's going on? And then over time, I felt that those emotions became very much stronger. But again, because we are salikin of this path, and this impetus behind it is that we clean our hearts. The impetus behind is that we make our hearts pure, inshallah ta'ala, and we present them in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so I felt, how is it that I feel this way about my own brother, and I claim to be following the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and so I started, I'm going to forgive this person. But again, the thing about boghaz and kina is that you can forgive, but you can't forget. And even if you say you forget, just your body language, just the way you behave, just the way you avoid others, it shows that you haven't forgotten. So this was the case for me as well. And then I was like, what do? I'm doing my muraqabah, I'm doing my dhikr, I'm doing whatever I'm told, but still I cannot get rid of those feelings. And so I remember that, I started making dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just clean my heart for my brother. And for the longest I did this. And I remember Allah ta'ala gave me the chance to go for Hajj. And alhamdulillah, I did the tawaf, and then Allah ta'ala allowed me to go to Multazim. And at that point in time, I was right next to the Multazim. I was holding on to it. I just looked up and I just made dua, Ya Allah, please Allah, clean my heart of these negative feelings. And in a literal, tangible sense, I could feel like something entering my heart and just washing those feelings away. I'm the same person. Like few minutes ago, I still have those feelings. Meaning, when I think about this person, I feel this negativity. And then you are there in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you ask the Rabb, you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, please clean my heart. Allahu Akbar. I mean, this is so ajib that I could feel, it's like you put some detergent in the clothes and it just wipes it clean. Exactly like you could just feel, you could see all of that just dissipating away. So if a person is suffering from kina towards, and we might have negative feelings towards others, know that it will become a detriment in our own suluk. If we have negativity towards others, it will become a detriment. Now, people usually have it. Why? Because some person might have said something, but usually it's some kind of insecurity inside that we start forming opinions. It is some kind of weakness of our own character that we start to form opinions about others as well, rather than just letting go, rather than just forgiving, rather than just being the better person. So it's some weakness inside and just manifests itself in this bughz and kina. So, and we know the Quran itself talks about this, and even in Surah Humaza, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us not to be those people who actively seek out any errors or shortcomings in others, and, not spreading those things and spreading those rumors as well. Even this is a manifestation of kina and bughz of a person, that they will actively go out of their way to look for issues. They come with what I said. So they will always actively look for problems with others. And they will spread them. This is biggest sign of kina. They will spread rumors about others. They cannot say a kalma khair. They cannot say anything good about them. They cannot make dua for them. So it's the biggest sign that kind of deenun nasiha, where a person is just overflowing with khair for others, that just doesn't exist. So from an ikhlaqi point of view, we are very much away from the ikhlaq of Rasulullah. So it should bother us. Okay? And this probably happens in like married couples a lot. Sometimes the sas and the susar and right, all those relationships. People form opinions very, very quickly. My sas is like that, my bahu is like that, my mia is like that, my bibi is like that. So people will develop those opinions, and usually they're negative, and they will develop those opinions, and they'll dwell upon them for the rest of their life. So it is so ajib that your own household becomes a source of you being deprived of the divine mercy. Meaning people who are closest to you, they have become the source of you being away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So but ajib hai having this shahan in the heart. There's a hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I'm sure you have heard it, that Abdullah bin Amr bin As radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he was a great abid, very much, all night long he would pray nawafil, and all day long he would fast. And he was the one that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you should fast every other day, and you should sleep sometime at night as well. And so he said that I saw that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam pointed to the door and said, the person entering the door, he's a Jannati. And so this old Sahabi walked in, and this happened 3 times in a row. Next day he said the same thing, and the same Sahabi came in. The third day he said the same thing, and the same Sahabi came in. And because he was a great abid, he said, subhanallah, what kind of ibadat must this person doing? Because I literally am embodiment of ibadat 24 hours a day. What kind of special ibadat does he do that he's been given this glide tiding of going into Jannah? And so he went to him. He said, Chacha Jan, if you allow me, can I stay with you for a few days? And so he was allowed. And so he went to sleep, but he's looking at what this person does. And he saw that after Isha, he comes up, he comes back and he goes to sleep. Bismika Allahumma amutu ahya. That's it. He goes to sleep, and then when the Fajr Salat happens, Adhan, he wakes up. So there's nothing special that is happening. So he observes him for a few days, and then he says to him, I've came to you, and this is the reason I came to you, and I don't see any special kind of nawafil, any special kind of, what is it that you do? And so he said, there's nothing special ibadat-wise that I do. But then he pointed to his heart. He said that my heart is empty of any kind of malice and negativity towards others. And when I go to sleep, I make sure that my heart is clean of any kind of shahan or kina or bughd towards any other person. So this is, this shows us it's not just the ibadat that bring us close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your ikhlaqiyat, what kind of character do we have? And how does that character match that of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? That is a big part. That is a huge part of getting close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ibadat mein to kabuliyat, maybe it gets kabul, maybe it doesn't get kabul. Ibadat, acceptance of the ibadat can be doubtful. You're doing the ibadat, it's up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if He accepts it or not. But when you develop your character, when you have that ikhlaqi beauty inside, because your ikhlaq is like that of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala definitely accepts that person. So it's important that we become people who are able to clean their hearts like that. And there's another hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that I believe has been narrated by Hazrat Anas radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu. The Prophet himself said to him that, Ya Bunayya, my son, one of my greatest sunnahs is that your heart does not have hatred towards anyone. It doesn't say not just the Muslims or just the ulama, just the shaykh. No. Your heart does not have nafrat and hatred and malice towards anyone. And this person will be this close to me in Jannah. SubhanAllah, this is a great, ni'mat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that if we're able to work on ourselves, so what do we have to? We have to take care of the way that we think about others, right? If we feel negativity towards, we have to work on our thinking, because it's our perception, it's our thoughts. So practically, we have to work on our own thinking. And our elders tell us that zikr ki gandagi, fikr ki gandagi, zikr se dur hoti. So mean excessive zikr so we can clean our thinking. Second, as I mentioned, we have to make excessive du'as. Excessive du'as. Allah Ta'ala, again, because sometimes, some poison remains and only Allah Ta'ala can remove. So you have to make dua, Ya Allah, please remove this. Third, if it is an active relationship with somebody, if the relationship is active, meaning, you can't just leave your wife, you can't just leave your sas and susar, and so what do? Then we have to talk to them, because maybe there is some behavior that is causing for you to think in a specific way. Then you can talk to them. It's okay to talk. So you can talk to them that maybe the way that you speak to me, or the way that you behave this way, or it's causing me to go into this mode of negativity, and I feel this negativity inside, and I feel that it is taking place and taking hold in my heart. So can you help me for my ruhaniyat's sake and for the sake of this relationship? You help me, inshallah ta'ala, become a better person. So fine, it's okay. You can, if they're genuinely, care about you and love you and have muhabbat for you, hopefully they will change those triggers that make you go down that rabbit hole. So it's okay to do that. So doing excessive dhikr, doing a lot of du'as, and having a conversation with people that. But if you find that you're just negative about others, everybody, जो भी बंदा आया जितने प्यार से भी मिला, उसके बाद वो टेढ़ा टेढ़ा चल रहा था, right? So if that is the case, then then there's a lot of introspection and self-reflection that needs to happen. Because if you're finding masla with everybody, then it's not masla with everybody. It is definitely masla with our own thinking and the way that we are looking and pursuing the work. There's another hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in which he also mentioned something similar, that every night I make that the heart is clean and there's nothing negative or no hatred towards anyone. And he's an embodiment of that. He's an embodiment of forgiveness. I mean, subhanallah, the way that I think about this a lot. The Fatah Makkah, the conquest of Makkah, it was not a small thing, because if you look at that time frame, if you look at that era, people, when they conquered others, they made sure that the other person understood and realized, and revenge was taken, and blood for blood and that sort of thing. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he conquered Makkah Mukarramah, you have 22 years of history behind it, where the pinnacle of torment and torture has happened with everyone, including his own family. His own family, they have been through this. And this is really, it shows what kind of beautiful heart, and what kind of heart free from any kind of these ailments that we've been talking about, that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam addresses them. La tasriba alaykum al-yawm. That literally he forgives everybody, and he forgives in a real sense. Not that I forgive you and then I'm going to hold a grudge in my heart. No. He frees and really emancipates them. And this really touches people's hearts as well, that when people have hurt you so much, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the example here, when people have hurt you so much that they are after your life, they're after the lives of your followers, of your family, and they have boycotted you completely, and they have waged war against you one after another. You really want to take revenge, so get rid of this cancer. But this is the chemotherapy therapy of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he just becomes an embodiment of forgiveness, and he is in a place of power. So, but he uses that power in such a positive way, alhamdulillah, that it touches the hearts of everybody. And alhamdulillah, his worst enemies, they accepted Islam, and we all know this, alhamdulillah. So, inshallah, taking that example, you know, if our husband has been really, really bad to us, then we, inshallah, they'll come and you forgive them. Or if the wife has been a source of like some detriment in your life, you forgive them. If children are like that, if let's say some of the children have been very hurtful, then you forgive them. If the parents have been very hurtful, you forgive them. If our own brothers, peer bhais and all that, if we have formed some kind of opinion, get rid of it. Having positive opinion about others, this is the akhlaq of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So inshallah ta'ala, we make dua that Allah ta'ala allows us to become people who get rid of this kina, who get rid of this boast, who get rid of this badgumani, especially towards our own elders, especially towards those who have been such an anchor in our life, in our own transformation. People do that. If you have badgumani towards this person, of course you're going to use the same weapon against everybody else. And sometimes, we form these bad opinions about, Ahlullah and Mashayikh and Ulama, and that we know have at least done more than us, right? So again, our badgumani affects us. Our kina affects us. Our bad opinions, it affects us. And so for our own spiritual health and for our own spiritual growth, inshallah ta'ala, we should take the steps to get rid of these bad feelings, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can start the healing process within ourselves as well. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to have hearts like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and give us this ruhani ittiba of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so we become beautiful inside like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So our ikhlaq is beautiful, our mizaj is beautiful. Everything about us has ihsan written all over it. Ameen ya Rabbul Alameen, wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Inshallah ta'ala, we will do muraqabah now. Inshallah ta'ala, for a few minutes, bow your heads in humility and humbleness. Forget everything and everyone. Look at your thought process and just step back from it. Let go of all the thoughts. Bring your focus down on your latifa qalb, two fingers below your left chest, part of our soul, part of our ruh. And negate everything in this dunya and everyone in this dunya, and affirm Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's presence, and make niyyah that this divine presence, this nur, this tajalliyat, these anwarat are descending upon us, entering into our qalb and cleansing us of all the negativity, all the negative feelings, negative emotions, negative thoughts, and feel that your qalb is calling out to Him. Feel that your qalb is saying, Allah, Allah, Allah. لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. سبحان ربي على الوهاب. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكن من الخاسرين. اللهم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك. اللهم ثبت قلوبنا على طاعتك. يا حي يا كريم برحمتك نستغيث. يا حنان يا منان يا ذو الجلال والإكرام. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا. رب زدني علما رب زدني علما رب زدني علما. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. صلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمتك يا أرحم. Jazakallah khair. Just a small announcement. We will not have a gathering next week. So inshallah, the next time we'll meet will be in January 2020 on the 6th, inshallah. So inshallah, on the 6th, we'll have our next gathering. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.